Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so the topic for this workshop is planning and managing your internet retail initiative. So what I'm going to do, I thought that the audience is going to be young entrepreneurs, a lot of them. So that is what was this thing. So what I'm going to do is to do it from grounds up, and it was actually fascinating to meet some of the people out here. Someone who has been in e-commerce business for last 8 years. So they have been selling fashion products for last 8 years. Then I met someone who actually has a company called O Catalog. Then Abilla, who is from Job Now. So it's very interesting that there are a lot of people doing various things in this space. So what I want to do is to take you through the entire process of setting it up. So that's what I'm going to do. From e-commerce point of view, the first thing is knowing about your business and the target segment. Every day you meet people and everyone wants to do something on the e-commerce space because everyone finds it very exciting that the India growth story is very interesting and everyone wants to set up their e-commerce this thing. But it's very important to know, do you already have a real world store? That's one question that you need to ask. Do you have that? Because I met some people who, one of the Apple premium reseller, I met him a few days back. He wants to set up an e-commerce store. They sell Apple products on the store, but they want to go online. So there are those questions. So there are a set of people who already are selling. They want to actually add volumes to their business. Then there are a set of people who look at it as an opportunity. They do not have anything in the back end, but what they want to do is to go online and then set up the entire supply chain in the back end. Evaluate different category of products and then choose that category of product. And yeah. So that's one thing that you need to look at. And the target segment, that's very important. My friends from Utsav Fashion, I was asking them how is it that they have been in business for 8 years, but not many of us know in India. But the target segment that they're looking at is all abroad, all international. So you need to be very clear as in whether you are targeting India, are you targeting international, are you targeting the B2B segment, B2C segment. All of that are very important questions to answer, and that is what is a very important thing. So these are 3-4 things which I thought I should write down. What do you want to achieve through the online business? Are you going to sell directly to the end consumer? So the B2C segment. So that's a segment whether you are selling apparel, whether you are doing grocery, whether you are selling bags or ethnic wear, anything that you're looking at, or consumer electronics product. Are you going to reach out to the consumer directly? So that's one segment you need to look at. So there what you typically would need is a e-commerce site which has a professional catalog, order management process, and everything related to a B2C process in place. If you want to sell online to business customers, I meet companies, since we do IT implementation, we meet companies who want to reach out to other corporates. So a company like a BlackBerry, a Samsung, all of them, they would want to reach out to enterprise segment. They sell it to hotels, they sell it to hospitality businesses and all that. They also create this B2B funnels. So that's one segment. The other B2B segment would be a lot of services that you see which are about, so you have tenders online, you have a lot of stuff which are basically related to the B2B segment. You are actually reaching out to corporates and you are not reaching out to the end customer. So, so there you may need to look at various things. One is it may have a B2B kind of look and feel in terms of processes, but then there are additional processes that you need to do in terms of customer registration, keeping customer preferences in mind, ensuring that you can actually track what is it that he has done in the past. That's very important from a B2B segment point of view. B2C, you can actually do sales without even locking the customer information. You may or may not want to do it. The third part from a internet business point of view is to use partners to market your product. so there are, so you might want to use a marketplace, already existing marketplace, and you basically want to use that to market your products instead of doing it directly. Another aspect is that like you do not have the product, so what you would do is that you integrate all the suppliers. So you have a set of supplier networks, you want to integrate them all together, and that becomes like a funnel into what you want to do. So these are broadly 3 or 4 things that you would want to do from a perspective of setting up an e-commerce store. On the 4th side, you would basically have like a Marjag exchange also, so where you have already existing e-commerce companies, they would basically feed into your exchange. So these are the broadly the steps that you need to set up the online business. So what I will do is I'm just going through all the steps and also show you what is it that we do on logismos.com as part of the process, so that for people who are starting out, it becomes easier also to understand. What you do is you look at all your ideas. You want to figure out whether you want to do B2B, B2C, and within that, what category of product and all that. Then you also need to figure out that how do you go online? Do you want to build something which is very grounds up, or do you take an existing solution and you implement that? So there are tons of platforms which are already available. So you can actually, which has the product catalog, it has back-end order management interfaces, all of that built in. So what you can do is, instead of actually doing it all grounds up, there are a lot of companies who want to do grounds up, but you may or may not want to do that. Maybe after a period of time, you might want to go for that. So, so that's something that you need to look at. In the planning phase, what's very important, because e-commerce, one of the myths is that you set up a store and people are going to come to your store and buy products. But what you need to do is to actually go out and talk to customers. So how do you build your sales and marketing plan? So that's very crucial from an online store point of view, because yes, it is online, it's available to everyone in India, abroad, and all that. But how do you reach out to them? How do you reach out to? Are you targeting the tier 2 cities? Are you targeting a specific set of customers, a specific demographic that you are targeting? So you need to sit down with the marketing experts, whether it is online, offline, and then look at how to put that in place. Selection of the appropriate partners, that's very important, because you need to have partners for, one, the platform, secondly, the payment gateway, third is the supply chain, the shipping services, your digital marketing partner. All of that you need to figure out what is your rollout plan and how do you intend to engage these partners, because what is very crucial is the entire supply chain. Everything has to work very seamlessly. You have to deliver the product within the agreed timeline. So whatever you promise, so let's say you promise that 24 hours delivery or within 5 days, whatever it is. So you need to ensure that everything is in order. Stage 3 is involving setting up and testing the entire platform and all the processes that you set up as part of the planning. How do you, so you need to do that. And finally, the rollout. Whether you want to do it as an international rollout or a rollout only within India, so that's something which you need to do, and you need to figure out what is the best way of doing that. If it is an international rollout, you need to look at setting up the entire infrastructure, maybe outside of India, or setting up at various places, or for every country you have a separate setup. So that's something that you need to look at as you expand your business. So that's very important. So these are some of the components which I thought I should cover. So there are about 7 points I thought I should cover. Shop management, so I'll go through each of them. So broadly, it's basically the shop management, the online marketing, that's a very crucial thing. Storefront development and the product presentation, that's very crucial, because you like certain sites, you do not like the experience of the other sites. Internationalization, if you want to go international, there are set of practices that you need to follow. The set of business processes, customer service is very crucial in e-commerce business, because there are going to be refunds, there are going to be delivery issues, tons of challenges, so that's very important. logistics and fulfillment. So I'll just go through each of them. Yeah. What is important is to define the entire product range. So if you are, so when you set up the product, so you need to figure out, because I see this challenge that people who have offline presence also, when you go online, do you actually place all the products online? So that's something that you need to figure out, whether you want to put all the products online. That's, then there are things like the products which are not available, products which are available elsewhere, but people in India, they want, so your customers, they want those products. Would you like to have something called a pre-booking? How do you manage that pre-booking as a thing? So one of the things that we have done on logismos.com is that there are, so we have a section called pre-booking, which is available only with us and not with other portals. Is customers can actually pre-book a particular product. Anything that we foresee as coming into India in the next 2 months, we actually place it as part of the pre-booking. So how do you, so that's one, so that way you can actually expand the product range also. But defining the product range, what is going to sell online, and you also need to figure out that it's not possible to ship every product. So the low value products, so let's say there's a product which is worth only 300 rupees or 400 rupees, a keyboard or a mouse. I mean, I'm taking our example. Sometimes the shipping costs are so high. The shipping costs are close to, let's say, 150 rupees, everything put together, because these are heavier products. So you need to figure out that does it make sense to actually place it there on the site, or you sell it offline? So that's so identify the right product mix is very important. And also bundling of products. So if you are selling a keyboard, do you also sell a mouse along with it? And how do you bundle? What are the right bundle? Because customers always look for discounts and stuff like that, but it's not possible to give discounts all. Optimizing the price within the online store. What happens is the internet is a biggest comparison site. So what you do is you go to Google, you open 4 or 5 different tabs, and people actually look at the price of the product on 4 or 5 different sites, and they buy the product from the place where it is the cheapest. So that's one thing. But how do you take care of that? Do you build in the reliability? How do you show the security? How do you make the customer feel that they're buying from the right place? It will get delivered on time. So you need to look at, so price versus the benefit is something that you need to look at and position that properly. In our case, what we do is that, so let's say that you have to buy a BlackBerry. Do you go to Lifestyle or do you go to a BlackBerry store? Any of you, if you know that you want to buy an iPhone, where will you go? Would you go to go to Apple store, or would you buy it from anywhere else? Apple store, right? Same with BlackBerry, right? I mean, any product that you know, first thing you will do is to go to that company site. So that is, I mean, what we intend to do is to set up a lot of these single brand stores, and you buy because you think that it's authentic, right? You may be paying a 50 rupees extra, but you know it's authentic. You know that the warranty is guaranteed in case there is a refund to be done. So that's very important. That when you are actually optimizing the price, how do you handle the price versus the benefit? So that's something that you need to work on. Ensuring proper delivery. There are a lot of issues that happens when you're actually delivering a product. The customer would have wanted a black mouse, but what you do is you end up giving a red one. So there are issues like that. Sometimes the promise is that you will do it within 3 days, but you end up giving in 5 days. So it is important to choose the right partners who can actually do that delivery. You also need to have the right suppliers who can actually give it to you on time. Because if you're putting catalogs and these designs are changing very frequently, how do you manage? Because that's going to be very critical in terms of doing this entire order management and the back-end part of it on both sides, before the order and what is available on the site. Otherwise, you will end up actually managing that mess all the time. Managing employees and partners, that's very important. Both the things are very important because you employees need to know all the policies. So the policies on internet marketing, because you are actually doing shipping from one state to another state. So it's very important to understand all the policies and every single policy. Partners, that's very important because if your partners are happy, they would work that extra mile in terms of doing everything for you. Advertising activities, so that's something that you need to plan. You need to also figure out that this is how I want to scale up. I want to scale up between today and 1 year from now or 2 years from now. These are the set of activities that I would do. These are the spikes that I need to create at various points of time. So before Diwali or before Christmas, that's when actually people spend a lot of money on buying stuff. Are you doing marketing and advertising activities around that time? If you're doing that, because that's very critical in terms of understanding at what point you intend to do this advertising activities. At all points in time, people do not spend because there are certain points during the year. That's when people actually splurge. So that's you need to do. And there are a set of activities that you need to do constantly, whether it is in terms of email marketing, whether in terms of reaching out to customers through other means, Google, Facebook, and all of that. So monitoring the sales process, so that's very important. So the MIS reports are very important to understand various things, to understand what kind of products are selling more than others. So you might want to stock the products which are run rate products, whereas you may or may not want to stock the other products. So it's very important to do that because so when you understand there's a new product which is coming and people are actually buying, if you have the MIS report in terms of what products are selling, you can actually do your forecasting. So that's very important. And that would ease various things. Your delivery is going to get eased in terms of supply. So you have to do all of that by monitoring the sales, the entire sales. Customer management. So two sets of, one is the prospects and the people who have actually, there are people who would come, they may not buy. So they fill in the profile, do all of that, but they actually do not buy. So that's one set of customers. The second set of customers are people who have actually bought it. Third is that you have a target segment and you want to reach out to them, whether through email campaigns, SMS campaigns, and or targeted advertising through on various portals. So you need to understand your customer and then design everything around that. Financial management, so your credit lines are very well defined with your various suppliers. You need to understand how do you manage that. So if you stock your products, you are going to incur some expenses. So and you need to pay them within a certain period of time. Unless you do very strong financial management, it's not going to work because as the volumes keep increasing, so this is going to become more and more critical in terms of the financial, the management. The last point is about accounting and statutory requirements. So what happens is that we had a lot of problem in the beginning in terms of ensuring that you have the sales tax number, you have all the registrations in place. So when you are starting out on e-commerce store, make sure that all of that is in place. Similarly, stuff like octroi, it changes from state to state. So when you are actually delivering product from Gurgaon to Maharashtra or to down south, different states have different octroi. So you need to be very clear about that. Ensure that you actually work with a consultant or your chartered accountant who understands all of this. And so that's something you need to be very clear about. Yeah. The next thing, this is very important, is acquiring and retaining new customers quickly and cost effectively. Internet marketing is very expensive. We have had situations where we spent money on Google AdWords and Facebook. For a 300 rupees mouse, 1 out of So roughly around you end up spending about 2,500 rupees for selling a mouse, which is what, 400 rupees. Right, so you are doing marketing, you're doing it on the various mediums available. So you need to be very clear about what is the mix that you want to follow. So you need to figure out how do I combine a search engine optimization versus a search engine marketing or a social media marketing. So when you do all the three things, you have to have clear budgets in terms of all the three things that you have to do. Search engine optimization is a little bit under your control, so you can actually engage people. You can engage a team who are very good in terms of search engine optimization, and they can actually help you. And that's something which is a little more inexpensive compared to a search engine marketing or a social media marketing. So what you need to do is to create, so engage a team which is for search engine optimization. You can do it in-house, you can in-source people, or you can give it to a professional agency also. Search engine marketing and social media marketing, there are companies who specialize on this, and they would then, based on the budget that you set aside, whether it is 20,000 per month or 2 lakhs per month or whatever it is, so they would then help you in terms of devising strategies to place your ads on Google, on Yahoo, on Bing, all search engines. They would also help you in terms of placing you on a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms. What you need to do is to define the exact target audience. Who do you want to reach out to? If you want to reach out to someone in Germany and not in other places, it doesn't make sense to actually target the Indian audience. So you need to be very clear about who do you want to target, and what points of time. So if you want to pause your campaign and do it after a certain period of time, have a very close monitoring in terms of both the things. The next aspect is email marketing. So email marketing, what you need to do, so you have a set of the entire customer list. If you want to do any upselling to an existing customer, if you want to do cross-selling of any product, if you have new launches which are coming up, you want to reach out to them. So that's one form. Or if you have a list of prospects who are going to buy your product, you can also do. So all of them needs to be tailored differently. Affiliate marketing, there are tons of opportunity. I'll also show you when I take you through Logismos how we tie up with the various. So there are, so you have a recharge, you have a Paytm, so payback. So there are a lot of places where you actually, you want to use someone else's platform or a portal to reach out to the audience. So how do you do that? So that's something that you want to identify all the partners through which you want to reach out to your audience. Data feed marketing, that's something, what you are doing is you are creating feeds of your product. And when you are actually doing email marketing or search, social media marketing or search engine optimization, so what you need to do are two things. The landing page of your site, that needs to be really optimized. So let's say that you are actually creating a link for a particular keyboard. Right, so when the customer actually clicks on that, he lands up on the landing page. If that page is not proper, if the page actually shows some other product, it's very embarrassing, right? So it's not going to, it's going to be put off for the customer, and also it's not going to result in the sale, because he is interested in certain thing and he actually clicks there. So what is very important is to ensure that the content is always up to date. The links are all proper, whether you are doing it through the other modes of marketing. They all, so you are pointing to your website at all points of time. So all the landing pages for the links on your email or through the social media campaigns that you do or the search engine marketing, they all land up at the right page, and the landing page needs to be fully optimized. The data feed marketing would essentially mean that you actually you create a feed of entire product catalog that you have, and you so when you actually create campaigns, you feed that into those sites. Yeah, so the next aspect would be basically about the storefront development and the product presentation. These are some of the things which should be very important when it comes to any e-commerce site. So when you choose a platform, whether it is Marjack, whether it is OpenCart, whether it is Magento, or you are custom building certain platform, make sure that all these things are all possible. Because what you need is that the same product needs to be, you should be able to create product groupings which are very flexible. Otherwise, what happens is that if we want to move a product from one category to another one, it's a big pain to download all the information and upload on another category. So you need to be able to place the same product under multiple product categories. That's very important. And the presentation of products, you should have flexibility in terms of changing it within a very short period of time. Let's say that you want to upgrade your look and feel of the site. So how do you do that? I mean, that's something has to which is very flexible, and it should not be too tedious as this thing. Because, so if you have a Diwali coming up, so you need to create special campaigns, special presentation of these products. So make sure that this is in place. Second thing which is very important is the product comparison, because if you are selling 4 or 5 products within the same product category, I should be able to compare 4 different mice, 4 different keyboards. If I am selling Apple 4S, 5, so I need to be able to compare what is the difference between each of them. So that's very important, because what happens is that a lot of these platforms that people buy, you do not look at the packages properly, and this is one feature which people tick off. The product comparison capability and the zoom in, zoom out functionality, and few other things which are very crucial from a point of view. So make sure that that is all there when you are setting it up. Product bundling. So there has to be a very easy way of doing product bundling, because if you want to bundle 2 different products and you want to set a different price for that bundle, you should be able to do that. Otherwise, what happens is that you have to create it as a separate product, both the things put together and place it there. It becomes very difficult to maintain. Cross-selling of products. So typically what should happen is that, so when I'm selling a television, I should be able to also sell additional a DVD player along with it if I want to do a cross-selling as a company. So whenever you choose a engine, make sure that the cross-selling and the upselling are 2 things which are integral part to the whole thing. Upselling is when you have actually checked in, you have made all the payment and all that. Finally, it says that you would have seen that on the airline site where they also talk about taking insurance along with it, right? So you have made all the payment, but finally, or you say that if you do a round trip, then this is a saving. So so these are the 4 or 5 things which I think we should keep in mind. The other thing is from marketing, so that's from a basic product presentation point of view. From a marketing point of view, what is important is to have all these things which are possible. That's basically being able to create campaigns, be able to do promotions, run promotions on the site, and discounts. So these are the things that you should be able to create, and you need a good marketing team who can actually figure out how do you. So when you give a discount, do you give a discount on every product? Do you give a coupon which he can actually use the next time he buys that product? And also, are these coupons reusable, or is it a one-time coupon? So you need to, because that is one of the things is that you actually use the same coupon code and you can buy as many times as you want, versus actually giving very specific coupon codes which can be used only once. And they would basically be 50% discount in the second year. So one, the capability should be there, And secondly, from a marketing strategy point of view, how do you create this thing? So both the things have to be in parallel. Otherwise, what would happen is that you do a marketing strategy saying that this is how we intend to do it, but the capability is not there. So then it's back to square one, because what would have happened is you would have spent 2 months in terms of doing a certain marketing mix, but when it comes to implementation, it's not going to work. We have had this challenge also, so that's the reason why I'm just putting it. We were on Marjack, but they had some issues. For the payment method, you need to look at the various things: debit card, net banking, credit card, payment on receipt of invoices. For B2B business, that's very important. All businesses, they typically want to first have an invoice, a pro forma invoice, and then make the payment. So if you are choosing a platform which is into B2B, make sure that this capability is there where you can actually give an invoice beforehand, before the payment is done, a pro forma invoice. Does it, from B2B perspective, again, advance payment. Sometimes what happens is you pay, see, I'm trying to cater to both B2B and B2C, so these are basically for that point of view. So you might want to have partial payment, and when the product is shipped, you pay the other amount. And cash on delivery, the success story of Flipkart has been cash on delivery. So there are providers like GharPay who actually help you do that, cash on delivery. See, each of them, they have their own challenges. Also, cash on delivery, like we had cash on delivery, but we actually ticked it off at a later date because there were a lot of challenges. Because what would happen is that the person would go, the other guy is not there. He would go there 3 or 4 times, but then see, if it is not cash, you can deliver it to someone. If it is cash on delivery, you also need the payments when it is delivered. So, but the good thing is that not everyone wants to use their credit card, they want to pay by cash. So, but so there are pluses and there are minuses, so you need to consider both the things on what you think is right for you. Yeah. The other thing is basically about secure handling of payments. That's very important. So make sure that the payment gateway that we are looking at, whosoever it is, like EBS is one of the partners, I think. They're very reliable payment gateway. So make sure that you actually work with a good payment gateway. And the payment gateway, if they are actually, look at how many banks do they support in terms of payments. What are the different methods that they support? Look at all of that. Do they also support multi-currency in case you are doing international this thing? What are the policies for that? What is the percentage that they charge as transaction? Negotiate with them, because they would, when you start out, they would typically give a higher number, but when you start doing business with them, the number keeps reducing. So you can actually negotiate up to a 1.5%. So that's, which is, I think, a large number. So from 3.5%, you can probably go down to almost 2.5%, so which is, I think, a good saving for every transaction. Since they are all in percentage, so that's a big number. You also need to figure out whether you want to pay higher initial fee and a lower per transaction cost, or a lower initial fee and a higher transaction cost. So. The next point is basically about internationalization. So, so one of the companies here, they actually sell international. They don't sell so much in India. So, if you are setting up a shop which is catering only to India, again within India, so one of the things which I missed out is, I think going forward, that's also which may come is regional languages. So, not at this point of time, at some point of time. That may also come, where but if you are actually selling to Germany, if you are selling to whether it's Europe or to US, the things that you need to look at as languages. Does your e-commerce portal support multiple languages? What is more important is to handle multiple currencies and payment methods. So you need to have contract with your payment gateway, and you also may need to have additional statutory requirements when you are actually receiving international payment, right? So you may like to refer to the FEMA guidelines to figure out, I mean, whether you can actually accept international payments. India Against Corruption actually had issues when they were getting inflows from outside of India. I mean, people were actually giving them as so it was a non-government organization, but still they had an issue. But here, since you are running a commercial venture, you might want to, you have to refer it to the right authorities and get look at all the regulations from accepting foreign currency. All the localization options, whether in terms of product pricing, in terms of the content itself, that's a huge exercise if you want to look at content and converting them into multiple languages if you are targeting internationally. Otherwise, you can still have an English language site, but at least from a payment point of view, that needs to be handled, multiple currencies, and also the conversions. Apple recently launched the App Store. Is right now you pay in INR, but till about a month and a half or 2 months, all payments were in USD. So when it is INR, it's so much convenient. You know how much you are going to pay for every download that you do from App Store. Yeah, so same with whether it is Amazon or Junglee.com. So when all these companies are set up, when they set it up in India, now the prices that you see are all Indian prices, are not USD or Euro. So when you set it up and you do it for the other markets, make sure that all these things are in place. Yeah. These are very important, whether it is with respect to this is from an organization point of view, the accounts receivables. So you need to, I mean, from e-commerce point of view, you are doing transaction on a daily basis. All these things become very important in terms of what are the payments coming in, what date, do you accept the, what we do is that when a customer actually makes a payment on the portal, since we do not stock most of the stuff, we first check with the distributors, and then if the product is available, that is when we actually accept the payment. So but if the process is not very clear, which we had initially, because since we're talking about products which are not available in India also, what would happen is that you end up actually paying the transaction fees to the payment gateway, and again you have to refund it back, so you are paying it twice. So make sure that from a process point of view, each and everything is very well defined in terms of processes, whether it is receiving payments, whether it is placing an order to your distributor, all of that. So that's something that you need to do very carefully. The reminders, that's something when you are actually doing volumes of business, it becomes almost impossible to manage without having proper alerts and reminders in place. So just about everyone in the entire chain, they need to know that these were the tasks to be done today, and these are the things which are planned for the next week, and all of that needs to be very clearly defined. The collections, again, I mean, like I told you, so it's going to be multiple mode. One is the customer pays you directly. There are cash on delivery. There are going to be issues with all of that. So how do you, and also the payments to be done to your suppliers. How do you put all of that in place? So make sure that you have very clearly defined business processes defined. Risk management, that's again, when it comes to supply chain, there are lots of times there are situations where you have product catalogs, but they are not, but the product is actually not there in the back end. So how do you mitigate that risk? how do you handle that? So from a policy point of view, you need to have clear policies saying that if a product which is not there, it may take up to 21 days if you are pre-booking. But if for a product which is, or something which has been shipped, there are chances of breakages which may be there, or customer refunds their product after a certain period of time. So how do you handle all of that? Do they give it back to you? Do they go to the local service center if you are looking at a consumer durables kind of product? So the policies with respect to that, how do you handle all that, and how do you decide whether it should be refunded or not refunded? Though we say that within 7 days if you return, then it's 100%. Yeah, but what happens if it is not 7 days but 9 days or 10 days? So you say that ठीक है 3 दिन ज़्यादा हो गया. So how do you handle each of those things? So you need to have very clear standard operating procedures for that. Warranties on products. It is important for your store managers to understand what is the warranty on each of the products, because different products will have different warranties. So what is that? What is the policy? Is it given by the manufacturer, or are there warranties given by you? If you are the manufacturer yourself, you have a offline presence, but you are going online, are you giving those warranties yourself? Yeah. And the last thing about the pre-booking policy. So in case you have this as a capability on your e-commerce portal, pre-booking policy is to be defined. So what we say is that for pre-booking, it's about 21 days is what we promise. So whenever we get to know that the product is being shipped from Singapore, it's going to take about 10 to 12 days. That's when we put it on for pre-booking, and people can. So if you are doing, if you know that there are certain designs, like so anything which is to do with design, whether it is fashion is a good segment where you need to figure out how does the production schedule look like, and when is it likely going to come, and make sure that when the pre-booking entire implementation and the policy is actually aligned with that. Otherwise, your promise and the delivery are going to be very different. The next point is about customer service. So how do you handle all the inquiries? Do you do it 9 to 6 every day? Do you do it 5 days a week? Do you talk in terms of business days? Do you talk in terms of calendar days? Everything has to be very clearly defined. What happens when the office is shut down and you still have to service the customer? Is there a number that they can call after 6 o'clock? Are the people who are on the customer service side, how do they have access to all the inquiries? So there may be something which is very critical. Someone has made a payment, it's not reflecting on his statement, so he feels that he has made a payment, but it has not. It has gone through, but he has not got a receipt for the product that he purchased. So he's going to panic. So how do you handle that? So make sure that that part is very. What is a mix? I mean, from what time to what time can he call up? When does he expect a turnaround? What is the turnaround time in terms of reply, in terms of solving the problem? It could be turnaround time could be 1 hour in terms of just reverting back, and in terms of solving, it could be within 2 days if there is a problem. Or it could be he asked for a red keyboard, you actually delivered a black one. How do you deal with that? What is your policy? Who pays first? He has to ship it to you. Do you pay? You first send him 150 rupees for him to ship it? He's not going to do that from his pocket. Or are you going to do it like a cash on delivery kind of mechanism where the product gets delivered and then and that's when you are making the payment. So what is a policy in terms of refunds? What is a policy? So all of that, and it has to be very crystal clear, and someone has to handle all of that. So what are the methods through which it can be handled? Telephone, email, SMS, fax, all of that are possible methods. So they need to, all your employees who are actually facing the customer or the supplier, whichever way, you need to, mostly from the customer's point of view, they need to have access to the systems, even on an off day, if it is, they need to have those access. And the training is important, because you need to train them on each and every aspect. Typically, in addition to the processing orders and advising on products, so they could ask you about the product features, specifications. They say that I need a gaming pad. So what is the best one that you recommend? So unless your sales team they understand about these products, they should be able to tell the differences. Of course, the customer can go online and compare the products, but is there someone who can actually guide them through? So that's important. Apart from that, the service center guy, he should be able to clearly tell what is the delivery date. So in case there is a delay, he has to call up the customer and tell him that this is the amount of time it's going to take, and because of whatever the thing, billing related issues, sometimes it happens. But if you have a very robust technology framework, ideally this should not happen, the billing related issues. Returns and exchanges. So can he exchange a product? So that's, so how does he exchange a product? How does he return a product? And all product related complaints. So you need to also segregate what is it that to be handled at your end, and what are the things to be handled at the manufacturer's end. So we talk from a product catalog point of view, the customer service, all of that, internationalization. They are mostly from point of view the back-end part. This is something you need to have a good logistics and fulfillment team who understand the inventory, what is available, what is not available. If you're dealing with multiple suppliers, you need to know which supplier has which product. What happens is, like, we work with Logitech directly, so we work with 3 different distributors. So initially we had a lot of problem in terms of understanding who can give what product. It's not easy to figure out. There are 3 distributors, national distributors, but then you end up, after some time, you actually start building that knowledge, saying that the different categories of products. So different distributors have preferences for different category of products. So you also need to understand. Otherwise, what happens is that you are actually chasing each of them, and it doesn't work out. So understanding the inventory, what time do you switch off a product from the availability list, saying that it's out of stock? When do you get it back? When do you, again, even the product is not there, but you have the confidence that it's going to come up, it's going to be there within the next 3 days. So you make it live, because you have 7 days window as your delivery schedule. Even if you make it live, you get an order, you should be able to deliver that. So that's something someone has to be monitoring that constantly. The price points, the prices of products may change constantly. Updating that on the portal, and let's say that you are also, apart from your portal, let's say that you also have created a storefront on Amazon. It may be updated on your portal, but is it also updated on the other portals? So you need to have someone who is constantly looking at each of them from a checklist point of view. That my portal is updated. Is it updated on this thing? If there are, so all those, also looking at the competition. You also need to monitor the competition and see what are the price points that they have. So do I have the flexibility to offer at the same price, lower price, or do I bundle another product or do certain upselling and give benefit for that? Or do I give a coupon or a discount at that point of time? So all those things need to be monitored almost on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis, but that's something which needs to be done. So inventory is what you have. Incoming goods, you need to be very clear about the schedule of arrival of new products or at least the stock situation of existing products. Order picking and preparing orders for shipment. So are the suppliers delivering at your doorstep, or do you need to put a service in place for picking up those? So you need to look at that. Then also preparing them for shipment. So you need to figure out that, okay, this the product needs to be shipped within 7 days. So I do not need to, maybe in the initial days, I mean, all those who are wanting to start out, you don't need to ship every day. So you may want to aggregate and ship it once in 2 days or 3 days. So you aggregate all the orders, and after 2 or 3 days you do the shipping. Also understanding the shipping companies. Some of them, they may be catering only to tier 1 cities, some of them to tier 2, some of them could be down south, they have more presence in certain places. So mapping all of that and calling them at the right time. So like we work with 3 different shipping companies because different companies have different reach. The inventory, whether it is annual inventory or monthly inventory, and archiving of records, because record keeping is very important, at least from a statutory point of view, taxation and all that. End of the year, because you are talking about so many line items, and you from a taxation point of view, you need to have all the paper in order. Okay. So that's basically from a portal point of view. I thought that from B2C and a B2B point of view, what are the things that you need to look at from a choice of e-commerce platform? So there are tons of platform available. See, there are companies who want to build their own engine. For rightly so, because they already have an existing, like we work with NIIT. NIIT has, they sell their products online, and they're all tagged with the existing NIIT.com site. They are all custom built and linked with the site, so everything gets captured. They go to the respective CRM systems, all the inquiries, interest level of students or teachers, schools, and all of that, because they deal with all of them. But then there are companies who want to get into e-commerce B2C space. They're looking for ready-made solutions, because if you build something from scratch, let's say that costs you 10 lakh rupees, but if you take in platform, you can start with something as less as 40,000-50,000 also. You take an existing platform, there are ready-made templates available, you just pick and choose a template, do your own branding, and then you are ready. And all this, I mean, whether it is Marjack, Magento, OpenCart, all of them, they basically have extremely good backend systems in terms of order management. And that's very important. And flexibility in terms of the product cataloging, displays, and all of that. The catalog and the product data management, we covered that earlier. That's very important from a technology platform point of view. If the zoom in, zoom out feature is not there, and you are after that provider saying, कि मेरे को zoom in चाहिए, चारों angles चाहिए, but he says, no, that's going to take time. We don't have it. We will do it in the next version. So you have no control over the next version, right? So you do not know. So whatever you think is important, just make sure that the flexibilities are all there. Same with pricing, what kind of price that you're showing. So pricing is a very important thing. Can you show discounts? Can you show discounts in terms of rupees, in percentage, all those things. Search capability is very important, because when you're looking at an e-commerce site, you should have a good search. So you might want to just check with them whether you can configure the search, saying that whether it's an exact keyword search or it is also the related products along with it. So if you have one product, does it also show all the related products? It's like let's say that I go to a store and I tell them that I need a white shirt, and let's say the white shirt is not there. He says that, sir, on you, I think you should go for light blue shirt, right? He has a light blue shirt, and he's actually giving you that as an option. The white shirt is not there. In case of search, that's a very important thing. In case the product is not there, are you also showing related products or a recommended product? So that's one very important capability. If you can find it somewhere, that's very good. Simplified and personalized ordering process. It's very nice if the customer actually gets emails which has personalized, dear Mr. So-and-so, and so on and so forth. Every communication that you do in terms of every order processing that you do, it's good to have those things in place instead of a hard invoice and all that. So if you can actually do that. In fact, the entire ordering process needs to be very simple. I mean, it cannot have very complex ordering process. When it says automated order processing, so the moment he makes a payment, it should say that your payment has been accepted. When the product is ready for, when the payment gets captured by by your company, it should send a emailer to the customer saying that the payment has been captured. When you are ready for shipping, it tells you that your product is ready for shipping when it is shipped. So at all stages, the entire communication should be in place. So that's from a customer point of view. Even from a back-end point of view, so let's say that you have configured user IDs for your suppliers. Can you also can you use a system to place orders to your suppliers? And can that also be tracked? All these platforms, they actually give you that capability where you can actually give orders to your to the suppliers, and the suppliers can also log in and get those things. So you can actually send out emails, the request to the supplier. So how much automation you can do? So that's a very important aspect. Customer data management. Do you have CRM capabilities of looking at the customers, which all places by location, by state, so the different groupings that you can do, can you actually look at the customer data from that point of view? It was very interesting for us to see that we have almost 85% of the orders coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities. And the credit cards which get swiped are mostly SBI credit cards, so which is very surprising because you would expect people to be swiping a Citibank card and stuff like that, or SDFC, IDBI. But we have a lot of orders with SBI card. So that's a very good insight to understand. It's also important to understand what is the average price of the product which is being sold. Of course, you can pull out your MIS, but if there are certain capabilities which are there, you might want to look at. We have a situation where if you go to a store, the average product price is about 400, but online it's about 1,300, 1,400 rupees. System integration capabilities. When you actually grow large, this is where the system integration capabilities may be important to tag with your suppliers' system so that your inventories are always in sync. You want to do that. Performance and growth. As you grow bigger, so you should actually use a large infrastructure like an Amazon or a Rackspace or Akamai. I mean, all the larger infrastructure. Rackspace and Rackspace is very good. Amazon is very good. You might want to put your platform there so that when the volumes grow, when the customers grow, the number of requests per day goes up. The system is scalable. You don't need to put additional infrastructure, hard infrastructure. You can actually use that infrastructure which is very elastic in terms of scaling up. So that's very important from a performance and growth point of view. That is from B2C business point of view. From B2B business point of view, there are various ways. I mean, there are companies targeting specific set of, so your business could be targeting a specific set of companies or target companies. So how do you create personalized storefronts? So depending on, so let's say that I'm Samsung, I want to target the hospitality industry, hospitals. So there are a set of products which I actually create a catalog only for them. Another set of products which is for, let's say, aviation industry or for broadcasting this thing. So can I create personalized storefronts for a business customer's point of view? Can I give them the ability to create their own set of products and possibly place reminders and stuff like that. Customer accounts, in case of B2B business, or even in terms of Tender, Tiger, Tender Portal, there are a lot of sites, I think I saw, or even India Mart. When you are actually doing B2B businesses, so what is very important is to have good customer accounts management. So you need to have a team which calls up customers or reminding the customer saying that you're not logged in for a certain number of days. From B2C segment point of view, you are hardly going to send emailers like that where It's not about reminding the customer that he has not logged in for a long time. From B2B segment point of view, it's important to be engaged with the customer from that point of view. How frequently does he visit your site? What are the interactions that is he doing? So what are the interest areas? So maybe you can actually track the products which are of interest to him or the category of products, and then create personalized storefronts for them. Order management, so you need to also have a sales team aligned with that. All the authorization processes, so a lot of times what happens is that you might want to exchange your information with the customer, and you may have different systems also. Language, we talked about it, whether it is mostly to do with internationalization also, if your customers are outside. Exchanging the catalog data in terms of feeds, XML feeds and stuff like that. Then the e-procurement, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, you have tenders being sold online and stuff like that. So the entire e-procurement process, whether it is for the government, whether it is for corporates, and integration with other systems, corporate systems. Okay, so we have covered from a e-commerce portal point of view, and also what is it that you need from a technology standpoint. There are certain 4 or 5 things I thought may be important. The first thing is that you need to have a website. For a lot of people who want to start out, you can actually do even without owning a website. So like the Apple store that I was talking about, I met this person. You may or may not want to have a website. If you want to, let's say, give out discounts, if you want to give coupons for increasing your sales, you can always get them, and you have present in 20 cities. You may target people in those 20 cities and get them to your site, or let's say that you have a restaurant also. In case of a restaurant, that's a big area where the discounts and the coupons are very prevalent, or even the retail stores. So you don't need to have an e-commerce website. You can simply go to a deal site like a Snapdeal or a Times Deal or a Hostguru, and you offer discounts. Domino's can have online presence. They do have, but you can do it by doing this also. There are tons of options, so you can actually still do. Then there are marketplaces like an eBay or a Junglee. So you can actually set up your own store, and you start selling. Right? All that you're doing is you are paying a small portion of your this thing as transaction fee to them. So you can actually do that. So you don't need to have your own store. If you think that spending a lakh of rupees every year is expensive, you can do that. Second thing, which is basically about search engines automatically sending you free traffic. We actually think that if you set up an e-commerce store, it's going to automatically have users coming to your site. But it's very important that you actually this is something, I thought the search engine optimization is something which is in your control, unlike a search engine marketing, or a social media marketing where you are actually spending tons of money. Here it's very important that when you're actually doing a natural search, make sure that your content is updated regularly. That's Google or Bing, they all look at content. How frequently is the content updated? So make sure that you are looking, so let's say that 300 products are there, make sure that the content out there is always updated. If there are new products, put new products. If there are products going offline, make them offline. If certain things are not relevant, take them off, broken links. But what is very important is the content out there. And make you have new photographs, change the photographs, change the content frequently. And make sure that the website title, the meta tags are utilized nicely. The headings are all in place. There are links, there's cross-linking within the website, and in case you are actually promoting on other websites also, there are links to and from your website. So that's very important. And there are structured paragraphs. Structured paragraphs, the keywords are highlighted, and make sure that all the images and the medias are labeled very clearly. You cannot have image underscore 2010, so that's not the thing. But if it is a specific product, make sure that the images are properly labeled. So the alt tags, which are the highlighting of these images, so when you do a mouse over, each of them is very clearly highlighted. That's very important if you are expecting the search engines to catch this thing. So what you are effectively doing is to create a big mesh, let's say of 300 pages or 400 pages, where the content out there is very clearly written. Everything that you're doing is properly optimized from a search engine point of view. Apart from this thing, of course, you need to do other things, search engine marketing and social media. But this is something that you can actually do. This one, that you don't have to be price competitive, saying that whatever is the price. I mean, we face this situation almost on daily because we represent a single brand, so we cannot go beyond a particular price point. Other competitors may be offering better. But internet is the fastest and the most effective price comparison engine. So whether the site has a comparison window or not, you can just have open 4 tabs, open 4 different sites, look at all the prices and the delivery dates, depending on whatever is you think is the best place, you are going to buy from there. So what you are effectively doing is you are not only competing with the local businesses, you are effectively competing with tons of people. So you're competing with large companies who have the economies of scale. So it's like the Kirana store competing with a big bazaar, right? So there are products that you find at a discounted price. So, but then the other products are at the right. So you need to create those mix where the homepage is very critical in terms of how you do that. How do you run your offers? How do you run your promotions? All of that is very critical from a homepage point of view. Make sure that that is in place so that when customers come back, they always find something of interest for them. Other things like free shipping, free returns, and loyalty programs are these are some of the things which are which you can offer. But if you start giving discount at certain point of time, you will only become a site where there are discounts. It becomes unmanageable from your point of view. You are not going to make profit. So, but things like this, like free shipping, you can actually put that as part of your cost, and you do it all over India. So that's something that you can do. Free returns, so in case a return. So you have some of those policies in place. And you might want to do a gift wrap instead of giving discounts and give value to that. So bundling of products, upselling and cross-selling. So all those things you need to do. And so you need to give, one, there has to be authenticity in what you're doing. The service that you are offering, it needs to be well understood and appreciated. And whatever add-on benefits that you can give, look at some of those things compared to, like the cash on delivery is a big thing which Flipkart actually talks about. It may not be about discounts, it's basically about you paying in cash instead of a credit card, right? Or a debit card. So look at all those benefits in a yeah. It actually, when you start out, this seems to be very simple. You can actually manage the logistics very easily, but it's actually very difficult in terms of managing the logistics. It's a nightmare actually. So what you need to do is to ensure that you run it like a profit and loss center. So the entire e-commerce component of your business, even if you have an offline presence, run this as a separate business, because though you are going to utilize your existing operational team, your admin team and all of that, but run it as a separate business. That's when you will be able to understand what is the kind of cost that you are doing. So if you have an accountant who is actually doing something else, a accounts team, if you are taking 20% of the time on your portal, put that in your P&L statements, and each and everything that you do, whether it is in terms of packaging, in terms of interacting with the suppliers. So what is going to happen is that if you have an existing business, many of you may be already in an existing business. So when you actually do it as a separate one, e-commerce venture, treat it separately and put all those costs separately. So basically, once you understand your overheads, so that will give you the ability to discount your products. So you know what is your margin. Otherwise, you will never be able to figure out what is the kind of cost that you are incurring. You may think that you are not incurring any cost, but there is a cost. So look at. This is the last one. The buyers will always find your website. So try and make sure that your URL is as synonymous as possible. I mean, this is this thing. So whatever is your business name, if people are looking for you either by your business name or what you want to do, figure out, it should be, if you're looking at Ferns and Petals, so it is Ferns and Petals, and you know that you are actually going there to buy. If you're looking at a Times deal, you know that it's about deals. So anything that you do, make sure that it is as close to either your business or your business name. So that's what you should do. And ensure that you reach out to your customers in all the forms. Expensive, inexpensive forms, whether it is in your emails, in your advertising, your online presence, everywhere that you're talking about, make sure that you are actually there. Yeah, so this, so I basically gone through it. I just wanted to take you through what we do on Logismo, so that some learnings I just thought I should share with you. So these are the things I thought I should just share with you. And then, so this is the site. So where we actually have, we have various things. You have exclusive offers. You have the deal of the day on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. There are certain combo offers which are there. So this is about the cross-selling that we're talking about. This is again cross-selling. So you buy one, you get the other one free. So here it is about a discounting, but on 2 products put together. We talk about the free shipping anywhere in India, and pre-booking whenever a product is actually, we know that it's going to take about 15-20 days for it to reach India. So we actually do pre-booking. I mean, Flipkart and others, they cannot do pre-booking. Since we represent the brand, so we do that. These are some of the products that we actually sell. So essentially what you're talking about, since it is a single brand store, if you go to logitech.com and you click on any of the links, you actually land up on logismos.com. So it is tightly integrated with the company's ecosystem. So on their website, when you actually click on any product you want to buy, it will actually take you to this thing. So we intend to do that with other companies also, and we are there are 2 or 3 more which are going to start in some time. Essentially what we are talking about is authenticity, because you are buying from the company directly. The security of the product, quality assurance, promptness of delivery, and after sales service and support. All these things are very guaranteed in case of single brand stores. In case you are like a lifestyle, you are actually, if you are like a marketplace, you are actually selling products of various categories, but you have lesser control on these aspects, whereas if you are actually doing it as a single brand, you have more control. Yeah. So this is a typical cycle. So customer places an order, we check with the distributors about the availability of the product. We confirm the order if you know that yes, it is available, and then we accept the payment. If it is not there, then we don't accept the payment. So that way you save on your payment gateway charges, because you are not accepting the order. These are little things I thought I should just share with you. Then we place the order to whoever the distributor. We pick up the order, package it for delivery. Then the invoice is generated through the billing system, again through the same thing, and it is dispatched through professional couriers. So we have tie-up with multiple shipping companies. So once that is done, the tracking number is sent to the customer. All these things should be possible through your system, and then the customer can actually track. In case there are any issues, then we help in terms of this is a simple representation of the supply chain where and you need to ensure that all these things are in order. There are proper policies in place. Typically, the standard delivery will be about 24 hours, but there could be situations where it is 72 to 96. So what we would do is we actually tell the customer saying that it's going to take this much time. So multiple shipping companies, because they have different reach, different companies have different reach, and that's very important to understand also. And yeah. So essentially, at the customer communication at the time of receipt of payment by email, at the time of dispatch. So when you dispatch a product, we send it by email, send it by SMS. In case of any delay in delivery, you call up the customer saying that there is a delay, because it is very important that the customer, you speak to the customer, because otherwise what happens is that he would be very furious. So it's important to talk to the customer saying that it's going to get delayed. So this is a mix that I was talking about, that how do you mix the various channels in terms of customer relationship. In case of new product available, or if there are schemes for existing customers, then you send it by an email. Choice of shipping partners, important. Replacement guarantee. Any product which is damaged during delivery, completely replaced, no questions asked. Payment refund. Whenever we cannot arrange the product, the payment, this had happened in the beginning, so now we have tweaked the entire process where we do not receive the payment if the product is not available. So how do you see if the product is not available, then you have to refund the payment, and you need to have a process in place on how do you do it. Do you pay it directly to his account? How do you do it? Do you pay it by check? Do you do a direct transfer? Whatever it is. And the USP is the pre-booking of new products. So this is like a marketing mix. So I just thought, let me share with you. So we do online marketing, search engine marketing, so and social media. So Facebook and Google, we do both. Typically to create spikes before a Diwali or a Dasera or a Christmas, New Year, and all that. The affiliate channels that we look at, free charge. So they offer free coupons to customers who pay bills online. So if you have a Airtel or a Vodafone bill to be paid, you can go to freecharge.com, pay for 750 rupees. So you get these coupons, free coupons, and you can go to multiple sites. So if you're paying for, I do not know exact thing. I think if you pay for 500 rupees, you get 500 rupees worth of coupons. Same value of coupons from free charge. Jungly.com, so you can actually create your store. So we also have a store there on Jungly.com, and a transaction fee being paid to Jungly.com. Paytm, again similar to free charge, up to 75 is again like free charge. You can also tie up with payback, and so basically the customers can redeem the loyalty points there. Similarly, Marjack Exchange. So we are hosted on Marjack, so we also use a Marjack Exchange to increase the traffic. So this is like a feed that gets into the Marjack Exchange from our website. Okay, so some learning I just thought I should share. The pricing, in our case, it's governed by the brand, so that's Logitech. So we have higher transaction value than the offline retail, so it's almost 4.5 times of what is offline. Offline, it's about 300, 400 rupees. It's about, I do not remember exactly, but I think it's about 1,1600 rupees. So that's a difference. Who is buying? Customers from metros and tier 2 cities. Many of them, but this is the stats which is like 3-4 months back. But the number of customers from tier 2 and below is close to 85%. So it is actually very interesting, because you really have to look at it this way. So we were analyzing why that is the case. Typically what happens is that they do not have access to the best products in the market. So there are no stores there. Whereas in case of metros, you can actually either go to a store, place an order and stuff like that. But here in this case, you can go online and you can buy the products and that gets shipped to you. So that's very interesting because then your market is then quite large. It's tier 2 and tier 3. So marketing budgets are important to drive forms. So we have very tight marketing budget, but this you need to use very judiciously. And the last bit is delivery. We do not stock products, so all deliveries are back to back. But in the last 5-6 months, we have started stocking the run rate products. Otherwise, as a policy, we did not want to stock, but now we stock we have started stocking the products. Yeah. So this is what broadly I wanted to tell you. Yeah. So yeah. So any questions anyone has? So yeah.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is like, do you check at that moment and do the distributor come to you immediately whether the stock is available or the system is developed online about the stock report or anything like that?
Yeah. So see, I talked to you about logistics, right? I mean, it's very important that the team who is actually managing your suppliers or the distributors, whatever you call it, it's very important to have some amount of intelligence. You are going to learn over a period of time, and you would basically want to know from them, is the stock going to be available this week or not? So it's very important for you to know whether the stock is going to be available in the next 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. That you need to know on a continuous basis. Or rather, you need to know what is not going to be available in the next 3 or 4 days. So that's one part. That's a precaution part of it. I mean, that's from a planning point of view. But once you get an order, so see, you are actually betting on this fact that it's going to be available. Let's say that it's not available now, but you know that it's going to be available in the next 2 days. But it is also likely that once you get an order, it is still not available, right? So at that point, you need to take a decision whether you still want to process that order or not. In the sense that if you know that it's going to be available in the next 2 days, because your promise is, let's say, within 5 days, 5 business days. Let's say if that is a promise, then you have 2 days to actually take a call.
Hello.
Yeah. Otherwise, from a planning point of view, you are constantly doing that planning beforehand. Yeah.
Hi, good morning. My name is Vikrant. In one of the slides that you mentioned, just an extension to the question that was asked, how do you accept an order without a payment backup, and how do you confirm an order, or rather capture the payment once you confirm on the availability of the product?
How do you accept a payment?
Once the order is placed,
yeah,
there has to be a payment backup. In one of the slides that you mentioned, you've said that I'll confirm the order and then access payment.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Okay. So let's take an example. So we use EBS, okay, as a payment gateway. So what happens is that when you actually get the payment from the customer, you have some time before you capture the payment. So only then it actually gets into your bank account. So what you do is you utilize that time nicely so that you confirm during that period whether it is available or not. If it is available, if it is available, you capture it, otherwise you don't.
Are we referring to auth capture or a direct capture, which is T plus 2 days?
Direct capture as in?
T plus 2 days. So when an order is placed, the amount is actually blocked. And once you are capturing it, that can happen only during an auth or capture mode. Or if in case, talking about the net banking, it is T plus 2 days. So the bank allows you 2 days to capture the amount.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So are we referring to the T plus 2 day or the
T
auth
plus 2
capture?
day. T plus 2 day. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyone else?
up a new retail venture with one category of products, suppose you're focusing only on one category, like suppose say like consumer electronics, and you're only selling that category. So is it possible to pull up a new venture with only one category of products?
Yeah, there are tons of companies who are actually doing that with just selling only apparel, selling only shoes, right? So there are only flowers.
Suppose I say a very small category, which is a very low turnover, like suppose you say pens or maybe stationery,
Right.
which is not a very big industry. Like, so is it possible with that kind of category also?
Yeah, I think so one of the latest one, the allschoolstuff.com, which is basically about selling stationery to schools, right? So that is one category which is very focused category, right? So anything to so there are companies who are actually, because that's basically, that gives you a niche segment, and you know that whether you are selling only baby products as one category, so you have portals which are selling only baby products. There are companies like My City for Kids, which is basically only about events. So you can be very focused also. Whereas, or you can be like a Flipkart.com where you are selling just about everything. So it's a business decision that you need to take, as in what is it that you want to do, whether you want to specialize or you want to be. So it's a choice of whether you want to be a BlackBerry store or a lifestyle, right? So it's a you can so that's a choice that you need to do in terms of what you.
One thing more, like this company like Flipkart, Jabong, they have their own setup of delivery, and they are delivering within like time which is promised. That like they are saying 5 days, they are delivering within 2 days. And as a new retailer, you have to bank on other courier, third-party courier, where you cannot give a very quick delivery. Like, is it like how you compete in that case with such giants who already they are delivering with their own network? Because you take, like, if you're doing through DTDC courier, it might take 3 to 4 days, where the Jabong is doing in 2 days. So that part, customer, like, they can capture on that point of time because of that delivery time. These big companies, yeah.
Yeah, see, you look at it from Flipkart's point of view. I mean, they had this challenge of not being able to deliver within a period of time. So there are two parts to the question. One part is that what Flipkart did was a couple of things, cash on delivery, and the second thing is delivering on time, right? So within a short possible time by putting own team in terms of shipment. Now, so that is what Flipkart did. Now, the question is that how do you compete with the Flipkart?
Yeah, as a new retailer, because you have to bank on the third-party courier, where you don't have a like hold on them, or maybe they're not that efficient, you know, as a Jabong or as a Flipkart is.
Yeah, so see, the choice of category of product is very important, because so if you are in a specific product category and customer, they know that this is a site that they have to go to for buying that product, because it gives you a wider range. So the good thing about focusing on one category is that you can create a width in that category. Whereas in case of a large portal like a Flipkart, you are on various categories, but the choices within those categories are maybe a little limited, right? So I mean, that's one differentiator that you could create, and once you start building a brand value on that, people and as long as you create a high recall value of your portal, people then start coming to you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for a big laundry list of things to consider when you set up a venture. I had 3-4 questions actually going through your presentation. One was that you were saying you spend on marketing on Google as well as on Facebook. Does your brand actually share that expense, or do you have to do it yourself? In this case, Logitech, because it's also reflects on their brand building itself. So do you get a share of the expense done by Logitech, or do you have to, as a venture, you have to do it yourself?
Yeah, so we have a good relation with them. So it's basically, it depends on, in business, I mean, it all depends on how you negotiate, right? There's no right or wrong. Ideally, you have to do it yourself because you own it and manage it. But you can also negotiate, because in the sense that, because since you are doing only one brand in each category, and that's a leverage also that you have, saying that, let's say that for computer accessories, we will not do it with another company, right? So that's a leverage that you have. So you say that we represent your brand, so you have to invest in that brand, right? So for us, it's a mix of both the things. So for a lot of the marketing budgets, it actually also comes from Logitech. Yeah,
Um,
but in an ideal situation, they would expect you to do it because it's your business, right? End of the day.
But excuse me. You're saying that you also get goods from their distributors, right? So that means these distributors are typically offline distributors who are, stockists and go through the CNFA network and that kind of work. Probably you are able to command a better margin from, because you're talking directly to Logitech. But if you look at your supplies, right, you get it from a distributor. You don't have a stock, actually a warehouse, you're saying, but you package it and then send to the consumers.
Right.
So it's basically from a distributor, you bring it back to a centralized location and then send to the.
Absolutely.
And still deliver in 24 hours. I mean, how do you pull that off? I mean, it's pretty amazing.
See, you cannot ship it directly from the distributors, right? Because they would not want to do it. I mean, they do it in volumes. It is not their business. So you still have to do it yourself. Now there are two choices: either you stock it, or you do it just in time, or in terms of you plan it in such a way so that you know what is available and not, and you plan it accordingly. So these are the only two choices. Expecting it to happen from the distributor end, that's not going to happen. But from margin point of view, depending on at what level the distributor is, so you get more margins. If you do it from a smaller stockist retailer, you will not get it. But if you do it at a higher level in terms of a national distributor or a regional distributor, then of course, because then you are as good as a so you are higher up as a tier 2 retailer and not like a tier 5. You're not at the last end of this thing. So that's something that you need to negotiate and go up in terms of building that linkage from a supply point of view. The higher you go up in the hierarchy, the margins are better. So, yeah.
So you basically are tied up with the 2 or 3 national distributors in each Delhi or Mumbai.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I mean, that's important.
Okay. And third question was, you mentioned a list of affiliate channels. I'm just curious, which is the most effective one for you in terms of your getting feeds to your website?
That's out of this?
Yeah, out of the 6 or 7 lists that you mentioned.
Yes, see, we have challenge with Jungly.com. We have a lot of challenge because what happens is that people, because it's a comparison site, end of the day, right, people actually put crazy prices. When we actually go back and tell the company, they say that it's not possible. So you cannot have a product which is worth 2,000 rupees being available for 1,500 rupees. It's nowhere available, neither on Flipkart nor on our site, nowhere else. But you find those crazy numbers on this thing when you go to jungly.com. So that's a place where people go there, but they would not end up buying because of the price, because the comparisons are between different suppliers, right? Free charge has been good. And so there are so the coupons have been used judiciously by customers. So you give a 200 rupees coupon or a 400 rupees coupon, pay back to a certain extent.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Sujit, Akshay from BPCL. Thank you for the insight. The question, I have 2 questions basically. One is, while you're talking about single brand, the business here, this same Logitech product is available in the physical store and offline mode through various other, aggregator portals and your single portal as well. So how does the price vary across different channels or the portals?
See, let's look at it this way, that you want to buy a BlackBerry phone, you can buy it from BlackBerry, you can buy it from Reliance Digistore. But in all likelihood, you will go to a BlackBerry store and buy it, even if the price is the same. The reason is because you know that you're buying from the brand directly. So in most cases, when you actually see the amount of spend that Logitech would do on a search engine marketing on their own site also is also pretty high in terms of. So when you actually look for when you know what you want to buy, then you go to the company, right? So, and you are actually not comparing products across multiple manufacturers. So from that point of view, it is clean. So you know what you want to buy. It's a choice between. So if I have to buy a joystick, I know that these are the 4 variants available, I pick one of those things. Right, so that is a premise with which this has been done. So from a price point of view, we are as competitive as a Flipkart, but even these brands also control the large portals also, because that's very important. Otherwise, what happens is, because you get funding, you do not. So the losses of a large portal like that is very high. I mean, you know that all the e-commerce companies are burning actually a lot of cash. So when you're competing with them, you need to compete at a different level. From like pre-booking is a big thing from our point of view. You do pre-booking, and the authenticity and representing the brand. You know where you want to buy, and this thing is integrated with the Logitech. This thing, so we get some traffic from Logitech.com also.
But does that mean that Logitech is controlling in terms of the retail selling price across different channels?
Yeah, kind of.
And the second question was, what's the kind of return you get in terms of return orders, rejections or return orders? What's the percentage of that, the total trade?
I mean, I do not know the exact number, but I think about 14 to 15%. See, accessories are a better category.
And that cost is borne by you?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pawan. I just wanted to ask one thing. On one of your sites, you just mentioned that while I was pointing to Logitech.com, I would be redirected to your site to make the product, to buy the product. How comfortable are consumers pointing to one store and buying it from the other? As a customer, pointing to the App Store would never want to buy it from a BlackBerry store.
No, see, it is like this, right? It is only an add-on, right? People would come to your store, but what you're saying is there is a additional this thing, right? So that's the additional traffic that you're getting.
Just wanted to clear one thing. You said that when we point to the Logitech site, means if I want to buy
also I said.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Also. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that you have this thing, so what you have done is that we have been able to negotiate that part. Can I do that with every single brand? I cannot. So tomorrow, let's say that I do it for another EA. So can you do that? I cannot. I may or may not be able to do that. I mean, it's about how you negotiate, right? This is additional traffic that you get onto your portal. And this is a very reliable traffic. People who are interested in buying a specific product or a specific company, they are actually getting onto this thing. And you are selling exactly the same. So that is, so it's an additional thing. It's like sometimes you go to a store and say कि ये मेरे को कहाँ मिलेगा? He says कि ये side वाला दुकान में मिल जाएगा. Right? So that's an additional thing. People who are coming to your site, they are still coming. But this is an additional thing that actually happens.
Thank
and
you.
if you're, yeah.
Hi, Sujit. I'm curious to know, after you said that almost 12 to 15% of the goods are returned, and typically if we know of this industry, around 25 to 30% is what is the gross margin. Now, if almost 15% is eaten away by this, and with almost 10 to 15% of operating costs, where does the profitability stand? How does it look like? And what is the ROC if I were to invest in this particular channel?
So you are saying that you do not see it as a profitable venture, is that?
No. I'm kind of perturbed with the figure because then the profitability figure does not look favorable for somebody who wants to get into it.
Yeah, see, there are two things. I mean, it's about making immediate returns and also doing it over a period of time. So what is going to happen is that you need to understand that how many people are actually coming back to your portal and buying the same. Because see, major part of the expense is also marketing expense, right? But if you can actually get a customer to start finding value in you, and the customer comes back to you, the cost on him is almost negligible, right? Like we have about 17-18% repeat customers. I do not know whether that's a good number or a bad number, but my spend on those 17 customers out of 100 is almost negligible, right? Out of this 100 also, I'm not spending on all 100. Maybe I'm spending on 30 of them, 40 of them. So that is, so you are actually betting on customers who are coming back to your site again. So that's where your profitability starts coming.
All right. So it is the customer acquisition cost which actually plays a very important role in deciding if you are able to acquire and have multiple binds.
Absolutely. It's like this. I mean, we have had customers who have called up also saying that last time we bought this thing, we like it, but this time we want to buy 10 units of this or whatever. So that basically he bought only one, but next time he's actually buying more from you, right? So that's when you are actually making money. I mean, that's, so as long as you are controlling on that side of the cost. Marketing cost is high, so because the platform cost is negligible. If you really look at it, to set up a store, it's negligible. The marketing costs are higher.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, this is Manish here, on your right. I am from Guardian Life Care, and we are also selling the single brand online. We sell GNC, which is America's largest selling health and nutrition supplement. We import these products from US, and these are premium health and nutrition supplements, and we keep them in our warehouse. So the challenge is that we are very strong in our brick and mortar retail. We are almost the second largest pharmacy retail chain in India, and now our online business is also picking up. We do not have that in-house team to manage our online campaigns. So the question here is that how do you keep a tight control on the agency you have partnered with? We have a wonderful agency on board. Our business is multiplying, it is doubling every month since last 6 months. So there is a potential for sure. But we see a gap in terms of managing the campaign effectively and ensuring that the keyword level search which we want should come onto the site, and we are not blacked out compared to the bidding of the competitor. So we've seen many times that one of the keywords, for example, whey protein is one of the highest selling products online. So the competitors are doing an open bidding. You are not having a control in your office, and your agency at times just leave it loose, and you are blacked out for 3 hours and you lose a potential customers. So how do you keep a control on that if you don't have an in-house team managing your campaign?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point, and it is actually difficult in terms of controlling the entire campaign management in terms of all of this search engine optimization, marketing, social media, all of that. So I think what you should do is to have some capability within, in the sense that someone who has the right understanding of the medium, and he actually then also understands a marketing mix defined by the agency. I mean, that is how we have done that in terms of, so we have a expert in terms of digital marketing, someone with about at least 16-17 years of experience in that space. Honestly, I do not understand the digital marketing space as much as my colleague does. So it's important to have some capability of understanding. It's like whether you are doing an IT implementation or whether you are doing a advertising campaign or the marketing that you're talking about, it's good to have some understanding within to be able to control. Otherwise, what happens is that it becomes, I mean, you are actually sometimes taken for a ride also in terms of monitoring or the spending itself. Yeah, so that's my take.
Hi Sujit, it's Nitin here. Sujit, my question to you is, since we use different marketing channels like SEO, SEM, SMM, so everybody's spending a lot of money to ensure that extra traffic comes onto their website. But I'm sure out of every 100, 97 do not buy and drop off without transacting. In spite of spending a lot of money on all these things. What do you think can be done to ensure that we
bring the drop-offs, bring back to our website and get those extra transactions?
Okay, see, we have a conversion about 1:88. That's a kind of this thing in terms of, yeah. So what I would say that natural search, I mean, that's something that you can actually have as an in-house capability also. And that's an easier medium. So make sure that you have a team working on the content constantly. That's something that's going to help you in terms of constantly climbing up or staying there. I mean, that's something, and that always gets picked up by a Google or a Bing or a Yahoo, and invest on that. Whereas in terms of search engine marketing and social media and other things like the email campaigns or data feeds and all that, affiliate marketing, do all of that. Affiliate marketing, we have found that that's a very good way because there is hardly any cost. So let's say that you are doing it on free charge or a Paytm or all of that. Look at those options. Because what is happening is that you are actually giving coupons and people are coming. So you are actually diverting a lot of traffic from other places onto your site. And that is still, what you're doing is you're paying on a per transaction basis, right? You're not paying, unlike a Google or a Facebook where you are paying, you are actually, within a month you end up paying in lakhs. Here you have control in terms of paying by transaction and not allocating a budget as such. Because that's basically when the transactions happen, that's only then you are actually paying. So look at those options. I think those are good options to look at. Yeah, I think I'm running out of time, so I've been. Yeah. Last, okay. Yeah, sure.
See, we don't know anything about the e-commerce business or retailing. We are a textile sourcing company from India, catering to various brands in Europe and in America and in Middle East. Recently, we started our own, let's say, manufacturing or sourcing for Indian domestic market. I don't know how to enter into the e-commerce business. We really want to enter into this. So if you can guide me something on that.
I think we can have that offline discussion also, I mean, in terms
Sure.
of this thing. Because I think the first part was basically about what are the steps to be done from a e-commerce, if you have to start up on a e-commerce, this thing. I don't know, you were there?
Yeah, I was there, but a lot of things were not clear to me because
Okay.
we generally talked about on the top side only, not into the details.
Okay. So I mean, I think we can do that offline also. I can tell you how to go about doing that.
Thank you.
Is that fine? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.